Tajidalek, everybody. Can everybody hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, so so there are some questions from yesterday. So maybe I would like to, start with those questions, because again, at the end there would be too many. So I would like to start with some questions from yesterday, and then we proceed. So now the first question, it says, I saw, it's about translation of the four dharmas of Gampopa in English. So as I told you, there are many translations, and I'm not really expert with that. So I cannot really, because for me all sound the same. So for example, it says the first, which is Lo Chusun Roar Shinjelaptuzol. So it says here that I saw another version of the translation of the endings of the first two dharmas of Gampopa. So the first one, grant your blessing so that my mind, one is may turn towards the Dharma, and the second translation is be one with the Dharma. So now, basically, chusun doa means may your mind, do means to go, to go, like say from point A to point B, to go, so that is like go, so ndo means something like that. So on the Dharma also, may your mind, so in that sense, then may your mind turn, so the mind turn towards Dharma and be one with the Dharma. I think, it's almost the same in a way, because see, from it is like, supposing if you go from point A to point B, so first you want to go on that path, so your mind to go on the path, the right path. As I was saying yesterday, one path is the worldly Dharma. Turn on, what's this? It says Jean Corbett is requesting me to turn on AI companion. What is that? I have no idea. So
You just ignore it. No AI here.
Okay. Okay. So now, so there is two. One, the mistaken path is the path of the worldly Dharma, and unmistaken path is the path of the sacred Dharma. So to walk on the path of the sacred Dharma and not be, distracted or confused on walking on the worldly Dharma. So it means that Lo Chusun Roar. So may the Guru bless, may the Buddha bless me, so that my mind follows on the right path, on the sacred Dharma and not the worldly Dharma. So it means that. And the second is Chu Lam Tundo or Shinjilam to Sol. So here there are two translation for that. So grant your blessing so that the Dharma may progress along the path. And second is may become my path. So here in Tibetan, Lam, Chu Lam Tundoa, Lam means path. And also here it means, may it be successful, something like that. Simply put, may my practice be successful. May it not be like your mind may turn toward Dharma. For let's say, I start to go I decide to follow the path, let's say from here till, let's say I'm in the state of Himachal Pradesh in India, and Delhi, to go to Delhi. So I have to, first of all, I have to decide to, take the route to Delhi. So that is first to go on the path. And then once I go on the path, then it is important to have a successful path to reach Delhi, not get distracted on the way and not be obstructed by other obstacles. So I need to reach Delhi successfully. In order to reach Delhi successfully, I need that success on the path. So that is what basically means. In order to reach, our goal of enlightenment, so may the path be free from obstacles. Chu lam tundo. So chu is the Dharma. So may your path to the realizing the primordial wisdom or enlightenment, so may that path, which is the sacred Dharma, so even you enter the sacred Dharma, may it be free from obstacles. May you be able to walk along that path successfully to reach the enlightenment, the goal. So that is what Chu Lam Tundor Shinja Lam Tuso. So may you bless me for that. So I hope with that you understand, and then you can see yourself, which translation suits your understanding better. Okay, so I think I leave to that. Then also there's another question which says, how does one make tonglen for oneself sometimes? No, sometimes I feel this need to do it for myself. Do we do it in the same way we do for all beings? Yeah, so that's the question. So now tong means to give, and len means to receive. So normally there is you are doing this practice for others, somebody else, to generate one's very bodhicitta, loving kindness, compassion. So as I explained to you yesterday, that sometimes people are a little bit afraid that when they do such practice, it kind of they fear that one's own well-being will be lost or will be taken away and all that. But as I explained to you yesterday, it really doesn't work that way. So one needn't fear. And so in order for one's tonglen practice to do well, then as I said, you can practice the first practice, which is developing the loving kindness, compassion. So that, as I said, so all sentient being includes yourself. So you can start with yourself. Yes, that one truly wish to be happy. So recognize that clearly and establish that. And also not just wishing to be happy is enough. We need to know how to create the right condition to achieve that happiness for ourselves. So clearly recognize that, clearly develop that cause for those happiness. See the right cause for happiness, and then develop, make sure, develop that strength in oneself to develop those cause. And same with the suffering. So truly recognize what is suffering. Instead of, many people shy away from suffering because don't want to, it's too negative for you. But then if you shy away from anything, there's no way to overcome it. The first step to overcome anything is by accepting and then understanding, recognizing. And so when you do that, then one understands what is the cause of that problem. So work on truly establishing that understanding of the suffering for oneself. One doesn't wish to be, unhappy. One doesn't wish to suffer, but why we suffer? So first accepting the suffering, and then recognizing the suffering. And after recognizing, then I'm trying to, see what is the cause of those suffering, and then working on those cause of suffering, the root cause of those suffering, so that one can be free from that. So genuinely developing that, so that is loving kindness, compassion for oneself. Then gradually from oneself to one's near and dear ones, and then from that to those around oneself, then gradually to the entire society, then the entire humanity, then the entire universe, entire beings. This way, so one can do practice. So this way, and then gradually the tonglen practice. So like that one can do this. Okay, and now the third question is, can you please develop more on? No. Can you please, I think, explain more about karma? Usually we associate it with past, present, and future lives, and it is very difficult to believe in such concept. Okay, so now karma, as I said, it's a we call lay, lay jumde in Tibetan. So lay is action, and every action has a cause and effect. So that is karma. Nothing comes about without a cause. No effect is without a cause, and no cause is without an effect. So that way, that is karma. Action, one's action, and that is changing. Changes, as we saw. Everything is changing all the time. So not only here, as I said, when one only thinks about future lives, and they say it is difficult to kind of accept, and why one cannot accept is because one cannot see, isn't it? But one can't. You have to. You have to see things with a very open mind. Not with a very small, narrow mind. Even with establishing it through reasoning. Everything has past, present, and future. Like as I said, today did not come about without yesterday, and tomorrow will not come about without today. So that is a simple fact, isn't it? So today you are here. You cannot tell yourself there's no tomorrow. I don't believe in tomorrow because you haven't experienced tomorrow. You cannot say there wasn't yesterday, because I cannot see yesterday or experience yesterday right now. I only see right now. So that is not very stable reasoning, isn't it? And like thoughts, we had certain thought yesterday. We are having thoughts today. And you cannot say yesterday, you cannot remember all the thoughts that you had yesterday. So that doesn't mean you did not have a thought yesterday. You had the thought yesterday, but today you cannot remember. So because you cannot remember doesn't mean you didn't have a thought yesterday. So that way, one has to be open and really, reasoning this way, and not just, you cannot see, so it is not there. In the past many hundreds of years, people, on the other side of the world never saw people on this side. So then you cannot say I'm the only one. There's no other beings. You cannot say that. Just because you don't see doesn't mean it is not there. So as we have, we are able to travel around the world, and we see, that there are other beings, not just me. So like that, so it is actually is very simple. If you reasoning with a very open mind, then it is very simple. Karma, cause and condition is a very simple to understand actually. So don't block yourself with only what I can see, I believe. What I cannot see, I don't believe. Because this is simple law of nature. Everything has a cause and condition. And its effect. So like that. So yeah, so you can check with anything. So maybe in the beginning, if not so much, you are having difficulty with trying to understand with your this life, past life, and future life, then just look around you. Take anything. You can just pick up anything and then see, whether that had a past, whether it has a present, and whether it will have a future. If you have some kind of, let's say, you buy some, like a beautiful flower. You go to the market, buy a beautiful flower, and put in your room. And then you see, where did that flower come from? Today it's in your room, but where did that come from? It did not appear there from nowhere. It came from, where you bought the flower, and that also came from where it was, in the farm where it was, how do you say, planted. So it has a past. It has the past, and the present is right now. You have it in your room. You can see the flower, and then in the future, tomorrow, day after, gradually the flower will wither away. It will dry, and then one day you will have to change. So that is the fact. So that is past, present, future. So that everything is changing all the time, and change is impermanence. Change is, so that. So if one looks at this, from that point of view, then it's easy. One will understand. So karma, cause and effect. So hopefully, you can get some kind of idea with this, and I'm sure you will understand, for sure. So if you try to look from this point of view, okay, it is not difficult, okay. And then there is another question. It says, when meditating, for example, I think about the this observing the sensation, observing, like on my crown head. It says, so after meditating and finishing it, then I feel a little bit dizzy. Is there any problem with that? So no, many people have such experiences. So there's nothing wrong. Maybe sometimes you too much. How do you say? Tightness. Too much pressure, too much tightness, too much. Trying too hard. So maybe because of that. So we need. That is why I said in the beginning, relaxing is very important. And after that, the shamatha meditation, breathing, that is very important. So when one does that, gradually step, like here, we couldn't do much because of the time. But when you're really doing, take time with that, and then be in that practice. Not do that practice for the sake of doing the practice as a schedule, but do it as the practice, So just be with that practice. And if you do that, then your mind will be relaxed, your body will be relaxed. And when you do this, you will, it will help you. And still, if too much, then you can change. There are many other, like you can, do practice of this, like on the breath. You can do, so on many things. So you can change your, object of meditation this way. And then also other thing is you can do short span of meditation. Don't try to do too long, maybe short, so that will help also. Okay, so okay, so with this, I think there's one more question. Thank you. Okay, it says, thank you so much for Noble Dharma. My question to you is, when we practice the Tonglen, the Bodhicitta meditation, even on a level where we haven't uprooted ignorance, will this have an immediate effect on the minds of all beings, as we are all interconnected? Yes, definitely. So we all, this is how, many friends, my Dharma friends, have told me, when they did such practice of the Tonglen, it truly helped them, and it truly, they can see, it helped to those who they have done practice. So definitely, because we are all connected, whether we realize, that oneness with everybody, or whether we don't realize the oneness with everybody, doesn't matter. The truth is, that we are all one. Yeah, ultimately, there's no, you and me separation. So that ultimate truth is the ultimate truth, whether you realize or whether you don't realize. So it is the ultimate truth. So in that sense, we are all connected. And when you develop bodhicitta, loving kindness, compassion, and dedicate, do such practice, definitely it will make a big difference to those and to yourself. Okay, so with this, then the questions are done. So now we just recite a short, the refuge bodhicitta before we start. Okay. Okay, I'm waiting for the. Okay. Sanji Chudang Soji Chonam Changju Pardu Dan Chausu Dage Jinso Jebe Sonam Drola Benjira Sanji Drubara Sho Sanji Chudang Soji Chonam Changju Pardu Dan Chausu Dage Jinso Jebe Sonam Drola Benjira Sanji Drupara Sho Sanji Chudang Soji Chonam Changjo Bardo Dane Chasu Dagi Jinso Jibe Sunam Drola Benjira Sanji Drupara Sho. Okay. So starting with the refuge and bodhicitta, now we continue with the 4 dharmas of Gampopa. So now today is the 3rd dharma of Gampopa. So Nam Tuba Salvar Shinjal. So grant your blessing so that the path may clarify confusion. So that is the 3rd practice. So here, for the path to clarify confusion, one must rely, as I said yesterday, on the Vajrayana practice of the creation or developmental stage, and then the completion stage. So the skillful, profound method of the Vajrayana practice. Through these profound practice, one transforms the impure. One can also understand as the deluded, obscured, the ignorance of one outer and inner, to one's outer and inner, body, speech, and mind. So that we can say impure, right? So impure is something that is not pure or not the ultimate state. So that way, and it transforms it into its very pure being, the outer and inner being, which is the enlightenment, or the enlightened body, speech, and mind, which is the ultimate body, speech, and mind. So under the confusion of ignorance, then one holds on to the external world and the internal beings as a true, solid, permanent, singular, reality. So that is ignorance, through ignorance. And we think everything is independently, existing. Everything is permanent. There's nothing is changing. Everything is solid, so that we hold on to things as such. And this, with such an illusion, then we are lost in this confusion. So that is confusion. Now it is possible to transform, is the right word. Sometimes they say eradicate, but transform such confusion through the practice of the emptiness, but it will take a very long time, because studying on the emptiness nature, and so in such, and then it takes much longer time, it is said. So therefore, the very profound and skillful method of the Vajrayana path, and it is said that it is not difficult also. It is simple, not difficult, yet very profound and quick, and that is taking the fruition as one's path. So this is the profound method of the creation and absorption practice. And through such a skillful path, then all the confusions are clarified or transformed in a very, how do you say, in a quick way. And the confusion of holding external world and internal beings as impure and true existing, solid, etc. So all are transformed to the pure state of its very being through the practice of the developmental stage, which is inseparable from the union of the appearance and emptiness. So in Tibetan, we say, Nang Tong Sungjuk. So Nang means appear, appearance. Tong means emptiness. So Nang Tong Sungjuk means the union of the emptiness and appearance, together. So in this way. So such practice are done with this base on this. All physical body transforms to the enlightened, the deities, and all the sound transforms to the pure sound of the mantra. All the mind transform to the pure mind of the samadhi, and all the outer world transforms to the pure land of the particular deity, the mandala, and all ignorance, the limitations, so the confusion is that way clarified or transformed through this path. So now it is such a practice is a very skillful practice, we say, because what we see around us, it is an illusion, we say, but if you say, how can it be an illusion? Because I can feel, I can experience. Then, there's an example like a dream. When we dream, as long as you are ignorant of the fact that you are dreaming, as long as you are dreaming, you experience whatever is there in the dream. If you have a very difficult time in the dream, you will experience that difficult time. If you are having a very nice time in the dream, you will experience that happiness. So in the dream, you will experience everything that is happening, though it is a dream. But the moment you wake up from the dream, then it is just a dream. It wasn't there. It's just a dream. So in the same way, here also, this, I, my body, you, everything around you, this world, so all this solid that we cling on to, all this, it is said, is like an illusion. That is not the reality of things. How we hold on to dualistic perception, our dualistic perception, the how do you say, the conceptual, the concepts that we are subjected to. So all these are mere illusion. But as long as we are obscured from recognizing or realizing this as an illusion, then we are lost in this. But when we realize the nature of all that as the union of emptiness and clarity, or the emptiness and appearance, and then it is like we wake up from the dream and recognize the true nature of all that is within oneself and outside of oneself, and that is freedom from this trap of the samsara, the illusion. And but it is easy to talk, easy to understand in an analytical way, but difficult to really transform that. So the skillful method, such as the developmental and the absorption practices, make that possible practically. How? Because we have a strong clinging on to things, isn't it, as real, so making it more, using the same, but in a skillful way, then we visualize, we visualize the deity, we visualize the mandala, etc., etc. And we visualize oneself as the deity, the front visualization of the deity, the mandala, and all that. So we are still visualizing, something, but with the understanding of the Tangtong Sungjuk, the appearance in union with the emptiness nature. So when we do that, now our strong holding onto the, grasping onto this I as a reality, you as a reality, there, things around as a reality, is much more, profound than that. When we recognize this, we say, we visualize in like an illusory body, right, of the deity. So appear yet empty, like rainbow. Rainbow is, you can see the rainbow, each and every color, but if you go to hold on to the rainbow, it is not there. It is beyond holding on. So something like that. Examples are given. So when you do such practice, then it cuts through our strong habitual, grasping onto things as a solid reality. But difficult for us in the beginning, and how to put that into practice is through such profound practice. And when we do that, it cut through this kind of ignorance, this kind of habitual, ignorance, the grasping onto things as reality. And when we, transform ourselves into the perfect deity, transform the front visualization as the perfect deity, then that is connecting with our own very nature. Our own very nature is perfect at all times, the Buddha nature. But we fail to recognize that at the moment, and we perceive this limitless potential that we all have with this very, very limited, the most smallest thing as I. Forget about the entire beings. Even on this planet Earth, if you talk about the human being of this planet Earth only, there is about, more or less 8 billion human beings. And here you are only one I against 8 billion yous. So it shows how limited this I is. Yet, we hold on to this, and everything, because of this strong grasping onto this I, then all the confusions arise from there. But this I, when truly realized or recognized, is this limitless potential, this Buddha nature. It is free from such limitations, such confusion. And that here, through the practice of developing, transforming oneself into the deity, transforming front visualization, like, the subject of, self and others, so the others transform into deity, self, deity, all surrounding deity, and the oneness, so through all these kind of practice, then one cuts through this kind of strong ignorance, and gradually, gets closer to the very reality, the state of things as it is, the ultimate state. So like that. So in that sense, it is very profound practice. Many of you have done such practice. So when you do, self-visualization, as let's say today we will do the Avalokiteshvara. So when we visualize oneself as Avalokiteshvara, in that, based on the loving kindness, compassion, bodhicitta, there's no space for I. You are Avalokiteshvara, perfect at all times. So there's no I. There's no ego. There's no jealousy. There's no, aversion. There's no attachment. There's no ignorance. No space for that. You are the perfect Avalokiteshvara. So like that, in the state of Nangtong Sungju, the appearance in union with the emptiness nature, so limitless potential, so that way, so gradually such practice. So this is how one benefits from these kind of practice, which are very skillful, as you can see, and much faster than the previous steps, because here it is kind of directly dealing in practice with one's very being as pure, perfect, as the Avalokiteshvara or the enlightened deity, whichever, so like that. So now will only the practice of such the developmental and absorption stage transform all the confusion into wisdom? So that's our next question. So Gampopa said, that it is difficult with only these two methods to directly transform confusion to wisdom. The reason is that during the developmental stage practice, one holds on to the understanding of the reasoning and validation, isn't it? Like there's something to transform, something pure, something impure, so all this, the visualization and all that. So there's reasoning, validation, etc., etc. So still there's some limitations. Using the reasoning or validation to overcome the duality has limitations. It has its limitations. So therefore, then in order to directly transform confusion to wisdom, then the most direct and the most profound path is the path of Mahamudra. So that is the fourth, the fourth Dharma of the Gampopa, which says, "Trupa Yeshi Sucharva." So grant your blessing so that the confusion may dawn as wisdom. So here, the fourth, Dharma of Gampopa. So now, of course, the previous, one can attain enlightenment through the, path or the third, stage of practice of the Gampopas, the Dharma. But here it's talking about the most, profound, as in the most swift. So in that sense, so directly pointing out the nature of mind. So instead of, so here it is direct pointing out, the Mahamudra, the practice or the path of the Mahamudra is direct pointing out the nature of one's very mind, rather than means of transforming something, and then visualizing, etc., etc. So here direct, so it is, in that sense, it is more, it says it's more profound. So here, seeing the very nature of confusion as the wisdom, the Dharma Dhatu, recognizing and realizing the very nature of ignorance or the confusion as the union of cognizance and emptiness. So that is, in this, then, like for example, confusion and when you don't understand is confusion, but when you understand, it is free of confusion. But because it is free of confusion, one can, overcome the confusion, isn't it? So it is the same. And because, when we don't recognize is confusion, but when we recognize is, wisdom. So when confusion is transformed, then it is wisdom. So it is not two separate entities. When not recognized is confusion. When recognized is wisdom. See, so it is itself, whether you recognize or whether you not recognize, the wisdom, the Buddha nature, or the limitless potential, the Buddha nature, the ultimate state of everything, the perfectness doesn't change. When you don't understand, you are confused, so you don't recognize it. But when that confusion, when you realize or recognize, then that transforms into wisdom of the realization. So like that. So it is by itself what it is, and it has always been that. So it is not something that you have to bring from outside and then get rid of something from inside. So not like that. So here, like there are examples, like gold. So gold, when it is covered by the dust or the dirt, and then one doesn't recognize or see the gold. But that doesn't mean the gold is not gold. When you clean the dirt of the gold, then the gold has always been the gold. The precious material of the gold is always, the precious gold. But when it is covered with the dirt, one doesn't see the qualities of the gold. But just because you don't see the quality of the gold doesn't mean the gold has lost its quality. It has always been there. The quality of the gold has always been as it is. So like that. So here in the same way. So for example, let's say this bottle here. So this bottle, it's there, but presently this bottle is like our, let's say, the Buddha nature, or the realization, and temporarily it's covered like this, with the our ignorance of obscurations of clinging on to things as reality, a solid, independent, reality, etc. And that is our ignorance of the mind, the confused mind. So we cannot see the very reality. But that doesn't mean, it is not there. So through our such practice, then direct introduction, for example, the Mahamudra, the direct introduction of what its very nature, when you remove this confusion, then it has always been there. It has always been here. So not brought, not lost, but temporarily obscured. So that, so it is, so that way, it is a direct pointing out the nature of one's mind and things, the all phenomena, the ultimate reality or the truth. So now, so this way, and then the dirt of fixation on duality, solid reality, which obscures us from realizing our true nature, which is the Buddha within, each and every one of us. And, because of which this obscuration, then we continue to wander in the samsara with, due to this confused mind. But when we realize this, then we say, the samsara and the nirvana is one. I'm sure you have heard of this. So when this is not realized, then it is the samsara. And beings who are confused that way is called sentient beings. And when this very nature is realized, then that is, the Buddha, so the enlightened one. So like that. Our mind and Buddha nature is not two separate entity. We beings don't have two mind. When the mind is deluded, we call it, sentient beings. And when the mind is undeluded, then we call this Buddha, the enlightened one. So the Buddha nature is the original, unmistaken quality of our mind, and which is always there, whether you recognize or not. It is ever present. So that is the, so like this. So we are supposed to do the practice, right? So the second, okay. So the first we do a short practice of the second, then we will continue. So now the second is the developmental stage and the absorption stage practice. So here, as I said, very important is when we visualize, so here, of course, the more elaborate practices are the practices of the wisdom deities, very elaborate form, and for those one needs the empowerment, instruction in detail, etc. So today we do a simple one, which is it is like more from the point of view of a refuge, and blessing, taking refuge, blessing kind of visualization. So here we will use the practice of the Avalokiteshvara. So here we visualize Avalokiteshvara in front of oneself, above, and then we visualize oneself along with all beings, sentient beings. We visualize all are there with oneself, and you leading all sentient beings on behalf of all sentient beings, and then doing this practice. And we supplicate to the Avalokiteshvara. And here, Avalokiteshvara, we have put down a text which is Cho Chunji Magu Kundokar. So Cho means the one, which is most noble, who is free from all stains of shortcomings. Chunji Magu Kundokar. So that represent by the white color of the Avalokiteshvara. Avalokiteshvara represented in the white color, so which represents free from all stains, of the samsara. And and the Avalokiteshvara has the Buddha Amitabha above its crown. So Buddha Amitabha is the Padma family. So Avalokiteshvara is the Padma family. So in the Padma family, then Buddha Amitabha is the root, guru. And it is said that here the Padma family, is very closely connected with the desire, people of the beings of the desire realm. So especially the human, we say we are connected, we are born as human because of course, all our other confusion, afflictive emotions, but mainly the desire. So humans have strong desire, attachment, desire, and so therefore we take rebirth as a human in the human realm of the samsara, and so therefore Avalokiteshvara, the Buddha Amitabha, Avalokiteshvara have taken, manifest specially to liberate beings from such realm. So because of that, it says to connect with Avalokiteshvara, to connect with the Buddha Amitabha is very, very close. So there are many, teachings on these. So that is why we so means with, then you are supplicating with your great, loving kindness, compassion, blessing. May you bless all sentient beings, of course, including yourself. So all sentient beings. So it says, you look upon all beings with the eye of compassion. So may you bless, all sentient beings to be free from the shortcomings of free from and may you bless us to develop the wisdom to see these shortcomings and work towards the happiness and the causes of happiness. So so to you, the Avalokiteshvara, Chenrezi, I pay my homage, I supplicate to you. So that is the practice. And when we do this practice, then we recite the mantra Om Mani Padme Hum. So when you recite this, the prayer, then we visualize in front of us, there's the Ishvara. Into that, something ray of light that kind of hits you and hits all 5 negative karma, the obscurations, along with all the sentient beings' negative karma, obscurations, and then purifies all of us. And through this kind of blessing, then we transform into the Avalokiteshvara ourselves. And all sentient beings transform into the Avalokiteshvara. And in this state of, and all the surrounding become the mandala, the pure land of the Avalokiteshvara. And all sound becomes the pure sound of the Avalokiteshvara, which is Om Mani Padme Hum. So Om Mani Padme Hum is the mantra. So mantra normally means, the liberate. So mind is the one which, when then we don't react in the samsara. But when we develop, recognize this very nature of the mind, the limitless potential, wisdom, then we are liberated from this shortcoming. So that is Yicho. So mantra. So when we say Om Mani Padme Hum, six realms. We have the 6 realms of the samsara. So it resonates with the 6 realms. It benefits beings throughout the 6 realms, and Om Mani Padme Hum also the enlightened body, speech, and mind of all the Buddhas. The Avalokiteshvara. Mani means represents the skillful method. Okay. Change to your hotspot. Just come. Can you use your hotspot or you? Yeah, I'm using hotspot. Just come. Can everybody hear me now? I didn't know there was some problem with the connection.
Some disconnection, yes. Now it's better.
Okay. So can I continue or I need to start from somewhere? Maybe can you just review a little bit like the visualization at the beginning? Okay. So I need to start the visualization, right? So so when we supplicate, so here we are supplicating to the Avalokiteshvara. So you are saying, Lord, the untainted by flaws, the shortcomings, the confusions, whose untainted by that. Your body is white, so white represents that, free of such stains. And you, the one who's adorned by the Buddha Amitabha, who's the root guru of the Avalokiteshvara, who is in the family of the Padma family. So, and it changes to you, the compassionate one, the Avalokiteshvara, who always, look upon beings to liberate beings from suffering. So I supplicate to you. So with this, then you visualize front of you the Avalokiteshvara. Of course, as I told you, that I'm in the form of appearance, yet emptiness nature. So in union. So this way, and then you yourself, as you are, surrounded by all the sentient beings. So you, on behalf of all sentient beings, leading all sentient beings, supplicating to the Avalokiteshvara to be free from the sufferings and the causes of sufferings, which are the ignorance, the confusions, and supplicating to Avalokiteshvara that may you attain the realization of the Avalokiteshvara, which is your primordial nature, your very essence, which is your limitless potential, which is one with the Avalokiteshvara. So may you realize that. May Avalokiteshvara bless you to realize that, and may Avalokiteshvara bless all sentient beings to realize this. So with that kind of supplication, then you visualize that all the from the Avalokiteshvara, then a great ray of light, white in color, appear, and then touches you and all sentient beings, filling up the entire space. And with this entire realm, the 6 realms, it fills, and then with this purifies all your shortcomings of the all sentient beings, and then it blesses oneself and the all sentient beings, and through this, then one transforms into the Avalokiteshvara. All the sentient beings transform into the Avalokiteshvara, which is our very nature. Again, keeping in mind this, Nangtong Sungju, the appearance and emptiness in union. So not like a solid entity, but in that, understanding. And then all the surrounding becomes the pure land of the Avalokiteshvara, and all sound become the pure sound of the Avalokiteshvara. And in this, the Om Mani Padme Hum recitation we recite, and the mind in the state of meditation, the samadhi of this, holding on to this kind of meditation. And Om Mani Padme Hum is the mantra of the Avalokiteshvara. So Om represents the body, speech, and mind of the enlightened ones. Mani means represents the skillful means. Padme represents the wisdom. So Mani is the skillful method, representing the method, and Padme is the representing the emptiness nature, the wisdom, and Hum is the activity of the enlightened ones. So here it means, and this is the mantra. Mantra means the as I said, Yi Chop. Yi means mind. Chop means to liberate one's deluded mind, confused mind, into the mind of the enlightened one. So from this confused mind to the wisdom mind, the mind which is realized mind. So that is done by this, the union of the method and emptiness nature. So then we recite the Om Mani Padme Hum, and the 6th syllable also resonates with the 6 realms, represents the 6 realms, and through this then purifies and liberates beings of the 6th realm, and also transforms the confusion into wisdom this way. So we meditate on this for a while that way, and so yourself, all surrounding become the pure, Avalokiteshvara, the sound of the pure sound of the Avalokiteshvara, all the surrounding become the pure mandala of the Avalokiteshvara, and in this we meditate for a while. And then next is the next page. Can you put the next page? I will just explain first. Yeah, and then now after holding on to this kind of visualization, and then you remain in this state of samadhi, the meditation. So, and then when one is done, then you visualize that the Avalokiteshvara, dissolves into light and dissolves into oneself. And then you and Avalokiteshvara become one, inseparable. Your body, speech, and mind with the Avalokiteshvara's body, speech, and mind become one. And this also then, with this then, all sentient beings also same. And so Avalokiteshvara dissolve into all sentient beings, and all sentient beings, body, speech, and mind completely in one with the Avalokiteshvara's body, speech, and mind, and become one with the Avalokiteshvara. And in this state, then we do the dedication. So through this virtue of such practice, may I quickly achieve the state of the Avalokiteshvara, and may I bring every single being to the state of, to the same state, which is Avalokiteshvara, the enlightened state of Avalokiteshvara. Okay, so we will do this short practice. Okay, so we start, of course, with the refuge and bodhicitta. We will do one time. Okay. So now, first, as I said yesterday, we just relax for a while. Very important. Just relax for a while. Now, we sincerely take refuge to the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha. As I explained, that is the innate quality, the limitless potential of each and every one of us. So wishing to truly realize this innate potential in each and every one of us, and then we take refuge to the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha. And one wish to realize this innate potential for the benefit of all sentient beings, to realize their innate potential. So then with this thought, we do the refuge and bodhicitta, and we put our hands in the mudra of the supplication. Sangji, Chudang, Soji, Chonam, Changchu, Bardo, Dani, Chapsuji, Dagi, Shinzo, Shibi, Sonamji, Drola, Penjira, Sangji, Druparashu, Sangji, Chudang, Soji, Chonam, Changchu, Bardo, Dani, Chapsuji, Dagi, Shinzo, Shibi, Sonamji, Drola, Penjira, Sangji, Druparashu, Sangji, Chudang, Soji, Chonam, Changchu, Bardo, Dani, Chapsuji, Dagi, Shinzo, Shibi, Sonamji, Drola, Penjira, Sangji, Druparashu. Now, we do the practice itself. So one can put your hand in the mudra of the meditation, and we read slowly, the visualization 3 times. Cho, Junji, Magu, Kundo, Kar, Zosang, Jiji, Ula, Jin, Tuji, Jinji, Dola, Zig, Jinri, Zigla, Chansala, Du. So here you can also, if you wish to have your hands in the supplication mudra, so you can do that also. If it brings the the inner, if you can connect that way also. Okay. Cho, Junji, Magu, Kundo, Kar, Zosan Jiji Ulajan Tuji Jinji Rola Zik Jenri Zigla Chansala Du Cho Junji Magu Kondo Kar Zosan Jiji Ulajan Tuji Jinji Rola Zik Jenri Zigla Chansala Du. Now, with your hands in the mudra of the samadhi. So we recite Om Mani Padme Hum. 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 Now we recite in our own pace, oneself, recite yourself, okay? Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum. So with this, you do the visualization as I've explained to you. Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani. Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum. So now you can also recite the Om Mani Padme Hum in your mind. So without sound, just read Om Mani Padme Hum with your mind, mental recitation. As you do the mental recitation, you have to, the base is the bodhicitta, and through this bodhicitta, then hold this, we say Thai ngajal, so Thai ngajal means thinking oneself as the Avalokiteshvara, the most perfect Avalokiteshvara, surrounded by all the beings who are the Avalokiteshvara also. Then all surrounding is the pure land of the Avalokiteshvara. All sound, the pure sound of the Avalokiteshvara. So with this kind of state of being, then we recite the Om Mani Padme Hum in the mind. Okay. Now, gradually we visualize that the Avalokiteshvara that we have visualized, and all the sentient beings, and all that we have visualized dissolves into oneself, and oneself also dissolves into the emptiness nature, and remain in the state for a while. And as a thought arises, then we transform ourselves back into the Avalokiteshvara, all sentient beings as the Avalokiteshvara, all surrounding as the pure land of the Avalokiteshvara, all sound as the pure sound of the Avalokiteshvara. And in this, then we do the short dedication. Okay, so can we have the dedication? Gewa de nyurdu da jenre zewa dubjurani drowa jijang malupa te sala gebarasho. Now just remain in this state of samadhi for a while. Okay, so now with this, and then we did the short practice of the third teaching of the Gampopa. Now the fourth teaching, as I explained to you briefly. So now here we do the practice. So here meditating on the, for the practice of granting the blessing to, so that the confusion may dawn as wisdom. So meditate on the calm abiding state of mind without any attributes, resting undistractedly, or so undistractedly. I don't know if there's a word. Yeah, so without being distracted, so with awareness and mindfulness. So we do this practice. Okay, so at this moment, we do practice like this. Then, of course, as I said, this is the Mahamudra. So there is a lot of practice. The Mahamudra have so many, profound stages of practice, so which openly, you cannot, teach, because it is so profound. Not because you don't want to share with anybody, but because it is so profound that it has to be guided, step by step, and properly. But for here today, then practice of the calm abiding state of mind without any attribute. So resting in that with awareness and mindfulness. So that is, I think, the base. So we do this. So again here, same. We just relax for a while. Now we just recite one time the refuge in Bodhicitta. Sanje Chudon Soji Chonam Chanchu Pardo Dane Chapsuji Dagi Jinso Jibe Sunamji Drola Penshir Sanje Drubara Sho. We just do a short meditation of the breathing shamatha. So we just maintain awareness on our breath, using the breath as the support for our awareness. We just do this for a while. Just be aware of the breath going in and out. Now gradually maintaining this calm, abiding state of awareness and mindfulness. Let go of the breath and just maintain the state of awareness and mindfulness as it is on the base of recognizing the nature of oneself and all other beings as the Buddha. Know that there is no need to do anything, no need to create or fabricate, no need to accept or reject, no need to stop or produce. Just rest in the mind as itself in its most natural state of being. Just rest in that as it is and maintain this. In a non-distracted, non-meditating, and non-fabrication way. In Tibetan we say, Mayeng Megom Zome. And this is the foundation of all the practices of the Mahamudra. So maintaining this, then we do the dedication. Gewa de nyurdo da chenre zewa dubjura droa chija malu te sala gobarasho. Sorry, here we can also say Gewa de nyurdo da chagja chembo dubjurne droa chija malu te sala gobarasho. Since it is the Mahamudra practice, so we say Mahamudra. We realize the Mahamudra. Okay. Now just rest for a while. Okay. So now, so with these, then, so yeah, yesterday I forgot. As I told you, traditionally, then first is the four reminder, first practice. Second practice is the four uncommon preliminary practices, such as the the practice of the prostration, the refuge, then the Vajrasattva, then the mandala, the Guru Yoga. So all those practice which associate with practice of aspiration and action, bodhicitta, accumulation of merit, purification, etc. So that is the second practice of the second Dharma. And then the third, as I said, it is the practice of the in the developmental stage and the completion stage, which are the path of skillful means. We say tablam. Tab means skillful means tablam, and especially in the lineage of the Kaju, the extraordinary practice path are the path of the skillful means and the path of the liberation. So we say tablam and tolam. So tablam, the skillful means are practices such as like the developmental stage, the developmental stage, and like for example the DT practices, then the 6 Naropa yoga, Niguma yoga, etc. So these are the tablam, and this clarifies confusion. And on top of this, the completion stage through this, when one experiences the subtle wisdom of great bliss or the great blissful emptiness, even the subtle confusion of the path is on the path is clarified. So this way, and then the fourth practice is the confusion itself to transform to wisdom, like the 5th instructions of transforming poison into medicine. So there are, like how one transforms poison into medicine. So same way, so these is an example. So direct method is the practice of the Mahamudra, as I told you. So which is the path of liberation, Tolam. So Tolam is the path of liberation is the path of Mahamudra, and Tablam, the skillful means are the practice of the developmental stage, the absorption stage, etc. So like that. So now that is the practice. So this way, the 4 practices for the 4 dharmas of Gampopa. And now again, if we, since the 4 dharmas, so this way we more or less complete the 4 dharmas of Gampopa. And now again a recap. So for our mind to transform towards the Dharma, then the problem we face is not enough, conviction in the Dharma. So normally we all have strong attachment to self, I. We call in Tibetan Danzin, so Da means self, I. Zin means attachment, so attachment to this I. And this makes us very imbalanced, full of emotions. So then what happens, we are full of emotion, confusion. And then in this, easy to be happy, easy to be upset, easy to get hurt, easy to hurt others, so like that, so because so much, confused with these afflictive emotions, not able to see the reality, and, then we obscure ourselves from the reality. And in this, we are, so many confusion, and we face so many problems, so experience problems. So that is, so with this kind of a mind, then we are not able to truly develop a genuine mind that turns towards the sacred Dharma and a spiritual mind, as I explained to you yesterday. It eludes us from achieving a deep level of, a meaningful life, a deeper, meaningful life. We get so engrossed and, enslaved by the relative worldly dharma of, for example, fame, wealth, power, etc. And this brings about a lot of sufferings. So for our mind to turn towards the sacred dharma, more deeper meaning of life, a spiritual mind, then it is important to contemplate and meditate on the, as I said, impermanence and the karma, cause and effect. And when we do that, then we are able to, develop, a more spiritual mind, a more, deeper meaning of our life. And so, as I said yesterday, here we are not saying, all these are, not good. We shouldn't be enslaved by that. So that is important. So we are developing the wisdom of, their true nature, which is subject to change through the impermanence, and that they alone cannot bring about the result of lasting happiness. These power, fame, etc. We see that their very nature is impermanent, changing all the time. So if we hold on to them as permanent, solid, real, then it is ignorance, and in this, then it creates more and more problem. We collect them to be free from suffering and to give us happiness, but through such mean, then it brings us more problem, more suffering. But if we can, recognize their true nature, very being, then what happens is we are not enslaved by it. If we know the reality as impermanent, changing all the time, so this way, then you can make the best out of it, yet not be enslaved by it, not be affected by it. So that is very important. So this way, when we, and then we also know how to utilize it in the right way, understanding the karma, cause and condition. So like this. So this is, so this way then they will serve you. Otherwise, you will be serving them all the time, and then you will be in a big problem all the time, always suffering, always unsatisfied, always losing something and unhappy and like that, so like this. And then now, even for the second, and even if your mind turns towards the Dharma and becomes a spiritual mind, in order for your life to be truly meaningful in a totally, truly deep way, profound way, then very important to develop loving kindness, compassion, and bodhicitta. And through this, then one's life truly becomes purposeful, meaningful, and in a much deeper level. So therefore, it is very important to develop loving kindness, compassion, because those are the essence of our very nature. We are not negative in our essence. We are positive in our essence. We are beautiful. We are perfect. We are good. We are loving. We are compassionate. We are kind. That is our true nature. But when we don't realize or recognize that, then through ignorance, we perform, we are chained by our shortcomings. So it is very important to work towards these essence. So working with the loving kindness, compassion is very important. Then on top of this, with the understanding of the emptiness, nature, the nature of interdependent origin, knowing all inner and outer phenomena are the nature of emptiness, like an illusion and dream, then one's mind can truly receive the blessings so that the Dharma will progress along the path. Otherwise, we hold on to things as reality, then, it is very difficult. As I told you yesterday, we might follow the spiritual path, but that spiritual path will become there will be obstruction to that spiritual path. And that spiritual path will become the cause of your undoing. Then that is a big problem, isn't it? The spiritual path should liberate you from suffering. But if that's too much grasping onto that, too much holding onto that, as we say, too extreme. If you fall into the extremes, then what happens? Then that becomes the problem for oneself and others. Such a profound path of spirituality will become the most, destructive path for oneself and others. So, in order for not to become like that, then loving kindness, compassion, bodhicitta, understanding of emptiness, nature of emptiness, very, very important. So this is the second. Then now, even if your Dharma progresses along the path, the Dharma progresses along the path, in order to achieve the complete realization through the path, of the clarifying confusion, then you need to rely on the path of developmental stage and the absorption stage or the completion stage. For example, working with the three ways of the imaginative way of using the developmental stage, as I explained to you, then working with the body on its energy level, the completion stage, and the two inseparable from emptiness. So through these three methods. With these stage, when one practice, then one gains complete accomplishment of enlightenment by clarifying confusion. And then the fourth. Now these skillful methods are wonderful, but to have a direct experience, a direct enlightenment in a simple way, the highest and the shortest and the most profound way is the Mahamudra path, the Mahamudra practice, to recognize the nature of mind through the direct pointing out the nature of mind. But this cannot, as I told you, be taught openly, in like this in public, not because it is one doesn't want to share, but it is because there's so many one has to practice in stages properly, guided, because it is direct pointing out. So direct pointing out is directly dealing with the mind. So we need direct instruction, direct practice, very important. Like, for example, medicine. The medicine that you can get on the shelf is not very strong. It takes time to cure you, but gradually it will cure you. But if you have, the strong medicines, the truly concentrated medicines can immediately cure your problem, but you cannot get over the shelf because it is dangerous if you don't know how to take. You need a proper doctor. You need to see the doctor, take the medicine in a proper way, in the proper time, everything properly, and then that will, has a very strong direct effect. So in the same way, and so it's not because one doesn't want to share, but it is because of these reasons. So because of these reasons, then one has to practice such with a master student, step by step this way. And so like that. But so that way, the main practice here is directly recognizing the nature of mind, and one, nature of mind of oneself and everything around oneself as the perfect, ultimate, ever-present, limitless nature, the Buddha nature. So that is this practice of the Mahamudra. We all are Buddha right now, right here, and everything around us is perfect at all times. But we need to recognize this nature. At the moment, we are obscured by our ignorance of fixation on duality, fixation on solid reality, etc., which obscures us from realizing our true nature. If I give you another example, like the sun, so the sun, when overshadowed by the cloud, one cannot see the sun or get the warmth of the sun. But that doesn't mean the sun is not there. Sun has always been there. The sun's qualities have always been there. But temporarily, when obscured by the cloud, then cannot experience that. So in the same way, our very nature, the Buddha nature, the perfect primordial wisdom is always there, like the sun. Whether you recognize, whether you don't, because of your shortcomings, the ignorance, when we don't recognize that, it is like the cloud, which obscures the sun. It obscures us from recognizing this limitless potential, our primordial wisdom. But not recognizing that doesn't mean it is not there. It is always ever present. When we recognize that, we are enlightened. When we don't recognize that, we are sentient beings in the samsara. So gradually, through the practice of the Mahamudra, then we cut through this, and direct recognition of this. So that is the practice, the fourth practice. So I think maybe we stop here, and then we have some. Is there any question? Okay. So there's a question here. So maybe, and anybody have any questions can ask. We still, we have hardly 5 minutes. Okay. So now there's a. Would it be true then to say that the 4 dharmas of Gampopa are also a meta map, an overview of the path, so that the first dharma includes motivation practice, the second dharma includes accumulation practice, so both of them include Mando, and the third dharma practice to transform practice, including tantras, and the fourth dharma points to the liberation practice, including Mahamudra. Yes, so on the first day I told you, it is a complete practice, right from the first stage to the complete realization. So the 4 dharma of Gampopa encompasses the entire teaching of the Buddha. So yes, so that is why it is so profound, and this way. Okay, so I think that's it. Okay, so I hope it has been of some benefit to all of you listening these 2 days of the sharing these little knowledge that I have received. Of course, I received these teachings from great masters, but limited to my own understanding. Then I try to share with all of you, and so this way, I hope not only through kind of analytical teaching method, but I wanted to incorporate practice also with this, and I'm happy that I'm able to do little practice along with these the teachings, and I hope it gave you an overview of these teachings. And I would like to thank the Dharma friends from Israel who first requested me to give teaching on this topic, and then along with that, then so many Dharma friends from all over the world requested to teach these, and was interested in learning and sharing this teachings. So I'm very happy that I'm able to share this with all of you. And and also especially to all the translators, without whom, I would not have been able to transmit these teachings to so many of you. And so I want to truly thank all the translators here for spending your precious time and helping to translate for me. And so with the merit of all of us, myself transmitting these teachings, and all the merit of all the translators translating these teachings, and the merit of all of you taking part in these teachings, for the benefit of oneself and others. So may we dedicate the merit for all sentient beings to be free from suffering and the causes of suffering, and may be happy and the causes of happiness in the present times, and gradually attain the complete realization of the Mahamudra. So for this, can we make a short dedication? Okay, so can we have the dedication? Okay. Gyawa de nyurdo da chaja chembo dubjuran drowa chikjang malu ba te sala gobarasho. Just absorb that what we have made, the dedication, we just absorb that for a while. Wish that from the deep within us, sincerely, genuinely, okay? Okay, thank you.